know, sometimes as educators, we are all about helping others, but sometimes we're not willing for someone to come in and offer us help, even though we may need it. But we are so accustomed to helping our kids and helping them through tight spots and helping them cope and helping them with their loss that it's almost as though we're on autopilot for ourselves, and we're just kind of going through and making sure that our family and that they're taken care of without kind of like stepping back to take a deep breath and breathe. Margaret Krulikas is a history teacher, and she's also our stay coordinator. She teaches senior project as well. She's a beginning teacher and wears many hats at the school. And unfortunately, she was out of town during the storm, but her house suffered lots of damage. Her roof had many leaks, and her house was pretty destroyed.
My husband and I put the board up the windows and everything. We're like, we don't want to stay, so we took our cats and we went to Durham, where my in-laws are, and just hung out there for almost 2 weeks because we couldn't get back to Wilmington. We did have people come, and I think it was Sunday after the storm, or like in kind of between the stuff, Lauren actually went over to our house and was FaceTiming me and was showing me pictures, and that's when we realized the tree, our neighbor's tree, fell on our roof. So it completely bypassed our shed, which is perfectly fine, and just fell right on the roof. So we were glad we left because it fell where our bedroom is, so we probably would have been sleeping and a tree would have fallen, and that wouldn't have been much fun. Because of the roof was basically kind of shot in a couple of places, all the water rained in. So from the day of the hurricane, we assume, until the rain stopped, the rain just rained into our house. So that made all of our ceiling collapse, which made all the insulation come out onto all the kitchen and stuff. So it ruined all the floors, and it ruined a lot of the furniture that was in those rooms. So basically, a lot of that stuff was ruined. So we've pulled out everything that was salvageable and have started washing it, but basically there's a lot of mold on things, so that just had to be thrown away. So once the water restoration company came in, they started with shovels, taking out all the insulation from the floor, and then they've ripped out all of the sheet rock and all the stuff just kind of around, and basically taken it back to the studs, so the house almost looks like new construction. So I know our kitchen and all 3 of our bathrooms are gutted because they were destroyed when all the water came in. The people from WEX have been really helpful, helping everything out. My one coworker came and helped me out before the storm. A couple of them came out and helped my husband kind of sort through things and get things to the storage unit. And then we're actually currently living in one of my other coworkers' guest bedroom right now, since our house is currently uninhabitable.
So I decided to evacuate the Wednesday before the storm hit. And I came home and I had a couple of shingles out of place and a couple of sections of fencing down, and I was really thankful. I broke down and cried with my son, and so the next morning, we had internet, we had power, and my son was all excited to play Fortnite, and I was like, nope, get some dirty clothes on, we're gonna go digging and help out in the community. And I knew 2 of my coworkers were hit pretty bad. Lauren Gray, she teaches history. Her entire lower level flooded, and so we went over there and we just gutted her whole downstairs, scraped up the flooring, ripped out the walls. My son moved a lot of debris to the front yard. So we were over there most of the day, and then the next 2 days I spent at my friend Margaret's house. She got it worse than Lauren. A tree hit the top of her house, and it basically rained inside her house for several days. And all of her ceilings caved in, and all of the insulation was all over everything. I mean, it was a huge loss. It looked like a war zone in her house. So I went over there. My son and his friend came, a couple of other coworkers came, and we just cleared out as much as we could to salvage, as much as we could for them. And then I came back the next day and just helped more. We had to get all of the stuff out of the kitchen and wash everything, and it was just quite an experience. It was very eye-opening, and I was more than happy to help. And Margaret's husband, Gint, stayed with me for those 2 nights that Margaret was out of town. And then she came back in town Monday, and they've been staying with me since, and they're welcome to stay as long as they need be.
So I think next week, once the kids start coming back and we kind of get into that day-to-day routine, it's going to be weird not going like back to my own house and kind of living out of a suitcase, or the garbage bags all my clothes are in right now. But I think it'll kind of help me to see what some of the kids are going through that had to leave. Kind of be more empathetic and kind of understand that when kids go home, they don't have as much time maybe to do homework anymore. They need to help their family. They might be moving from house to house, and then, I don't know, just that it just helps you relate more to the students and what's happening around them.
I think for our students, to hear how if you have something and you are able to share it with someone else, then you should willingly do so. And if it means opening up your home, if you have space available for friends or family whenever things are going, or whenever they're in a difficult situation, those kinds of things are what we want to teach our students about being able to give back to each other.
So I have very deep, meaningful conversations with my students, and I'm always, wanting to know about their lives and, how things are at home. And we will spend some time in class talking about this, getting to know, who was hit hard by this, and, more helping may come of it just from discussions that we have in class. And I run a club at my school called Ambassadors, and we will be researching our own ways that we can continue to help in the community. So, yeah.
I think for right now, because we've been kind of talking about how we can support our students. Right now, there are a lot of resources available. It's going to be when the resources leave, like when FEMA leaves, when the Red Cross leaves, when the disaster preparedness stuff leaves, that we're going to have to realize that it doesn't stop for a lot of people. A lot of people still aren't in their homes, and they're probably not going to be in their homes until next year. So what do you do about all the holidays that are about to come up? What do you do with the people who have their clothes now, but they don't have their winter clothes? So it's just kind of that making sure that people know that you're there to support them, and you will be there to support them down the road and not just in this immediate time.